Hello everyone, and welcome back to Storytime. If you're new here, I am Monk, and I'd like to read you a story. Before we begin, let's make sure we have all of our passies, our stuffies, and special blankets for Storytime. If you need more time to gather everything, please pause the video. Today's story will be Harold and the Purple Crayon by Crockett Johnson. Let's begin. And here's our title page. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. That sounds so lovely. I wonder what he was drawing before. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. And he needed something to walk on. Looks like a pretty good moon. I wonder where he's going. He made a long straight path so he wouldn't get lost. And he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. Off he goes. Where would you go if you could draw your destinations? Let me know in the comments. But he didn't seem to be going anywhere on the long straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across a field, and the moon went with him. Seems pretty adventurous. The shortcut led him right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. I love apples. Do you like apples? What are your favorite, if you have one? Let me know in the comments. I think they're all delicious. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. Do you think Harold's dragon likes tacos too? Maybe. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Oh my. Looks like he's drawing something there. A mistake there. Suddenly, he realized what was happening. But by the time Harold was over his head in an ocean, Oh man. Oh man, oh man. Oh goodness. He came up thinking fast, and in no time he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. Oh, good thinking. He quickly set sail, and the moon set along with him. Quite a few places he's going. After he had sailed enough, Harold made land without much trouble. That's nice. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. He even drew a little anchor so he wouldn't go away. Very smart. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. You guys like picnics? I'd like to go on a picnic eventually. Seems nice. There was nothing but pie. But there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked the best. I love pie. Do you have a favorite pie? I'm partial to pumpkin. What's your favorite type of pie? Let me know in the comments. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. There's a lot of pie. What do you think he's drawing now? So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Oh my. Very hungry moose. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the further he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. Fearless Harold is. He was tired, and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. It's a good idea. I hope he makes it home. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Off he goes. But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon. He made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. Very handy, his crayon. Gets him in trouble and gets him out of trouble. Very good. And he made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. Have any of you ever been on a hot air balloon? Too high for me. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. Wow. So many places. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. Wow. That's a lot of work to do when you're tired and all you want to do is go to bed. Wowee. But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. Big city. Wowee. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. Also very polite. I like that. I like that. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room in bed. Then suddenly, Harold remembered. There's a nice police officer. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. Oh, there you go. There you go. That's cool. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and he drew up the covers. It's a nice little window. Oh. And his bed looks pretty comfy. The purple crayon dropped on the floor, and Harold dropped off to sleep. Thank you for letting me read to you. I hope you have a wonderful rest.